Louisville is where OVW was, and that was like the head training ground.
Okay.
Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Batista,
Right.
Randy Orton.
And you were training with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Soon to Be Legends. I'm MC Clark. Byron Stankus is the host. We have a very special guest. Byron,
Oh,
take
you
it
don't
away.
want to say Kevin's name?
Kevin.
Kevin Fertig. Kevin Fertig's with us. Hi, I'm Byron Stankus. I'm your host of Soon to Be Legends. So everybody, welcome to the show. Don't forget to sign up on YouTube, and if you don't, I'll make Kevin scare you into doing it. Right?
Absolutely, but I've got to go ahead and just start here.
Oh, okay.
Your co-host.
Yes, that's Clark.
Yeah, Clark.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Clark. I mean,
Yes.
that was mediocre at best.
Yes,
You know,
correct.
I'm
Okay,
just
so-
really happy to be here, and I'm just this.
Okay.
I would expect this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to To Be Legends!
Oh my God. Okay, so if anyone had a speaker, it's all gone. There you go. So for anyone who didn't know, Kevin Fertig, formerly WWE wrestler, correct?
Correct.
Sure, how about that?
And I
Can
stayed
anybody-
in several Holiday Inn Expresses, so it's got to be true.
gotta be
Gotta
true.
be true.
You
You
got
definitely
all of those
inspired me to step my game up on the
Absolutely. I've been literally working on him for like 3 months here to try and throw a little more enthusiasm into here because it's very exciting. So Kevin Fertig, you are now the championship home seller in the Indianapolis area,
Yep.
right? So we can get to that as well.
Yeah.
But you did other stuff back where you were throwing people around in a ring, right?
Absolutely.
So you started out. You grew up in Memphis.
Uh-huh.
So tell us, a little tiny Kevin in Memphis. How'd you get into wrestling? Just throw stuff around your backyard?
You just beat people, neighborhood kids up.
No.
Because you're a tiny human being, obviously.
Yeah, tiny human being. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. There was a Gold's Gym in Memphis, Tennessee that
Okay.
a lot of the wrestlers used to work out at, and I happened to be the morning manager.
Oh, okay.
And
so was that like in high school?
Just out of high school.
Just out of high school?
So
Manager of a Gold's Gym?
wanted to go play football in college, do some other stuff. It just couldn't decide what I wanted to do, so I just went into gym management.
Okay.
It just kind of worked out, and then literally got by the name of Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid, right? Yeah.
Sid Justice. I mean, there's a lot of names for him.
Well,
Basically,
that's part of the deal with wrestlers, right? You guys
yeah,
have
we
various
got
names,
we always
right?
have a lot of names, and,
Yeah.
and always answer to asshole.
Right. Yeah.
Dick-
Hey, asshole.
dick-
Hey,
dickhead.
Yeah. That's good.
I mean, you can go down the list of,
Yeah.
of what we actually, answer to. But, he was working out in the morning, and his workout partner just kept missing. And
So
we
you
ended
work out with him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we became workout partners. And one day it was like, hey, I want to go to the ring. I'm, kind of on a lull. I'm about to get back into it. We went to another wrestler in town's ring that was in his backyard that when we rolled out the mats, there were dead rats in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Backyard wrestling with dead rats was
Yep.
your first introduction
Yep. Yeah,
to,
it was
to the
my
wrestling world. Nice.
Yeah, and then
And you
it
were
was-
always like a huge human being, or you just this is just
This is pretty much
pretty
my,
much you, yeah.
my size. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the runt of my family.
Are you
which
really?
is really weird.
okay. So now wrestling with rats, how'd that go?
You
well.
After we kicked him out of the ring and everything else,
Yeah?
it got better. You put
Okay.
put a little mat on top of it, so you're
mat
not-
on top of the
yeah,
dead
yeah,
rats?
Yeah, you're not
Okay.
really like just splashing down in the feces.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. No.
Sanitation.
Hey man, it's wrestling.
So how'd that? I mean, seriously, how'd that go? Did you have any idea what you were doing? Did he like teach?
No,
you
I
stuff?
had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, but did he teach you things?
Oh,
Or just
absolutely.
or he's like, I'm just going to run you over or something. throw you around?
Absolutely. So he, it was learning lockup, learning
Right.
headlock, learning shoot off the
Okay.
ropes. I mean, so just kind of progressed from there.
Right. And
So-
literally just progress from there. So literally, did you get invited to a tryout? Do you
So
did you then
we-
go train with a bunch of these guys afterwards?
We started. I was probably as raw as could be.
Okay. And you don't mean the brand name?
No,
from
I don't.
WWE.
I don't mean the brand name.
Yeah.
Literally,
That comes later.
It was a couple lessons, and hey, we're booked here. We're booked there.
Oh, and they brought you in?
They brought me in because of he's
He needed a guy
he's
to
the
throw
main
around the
draw.
ring,
No,
right?
he's the main draw. No, I was always his tag team partner.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we just basically got brought in as
As a tag team.
I was Kid Vicious, this, that, the other.
Oh yeah, name some of the them names.
So
you were Kid Vicious with
I
Sid
was
Vicious.
Max Cherry. I was
Max Cherry.
Hey,
That sounds like a stripper's name, man.
it was 100% stripper.
So you just gave the announcer a list of names, and he'd call you about.
Oh yeah. I mean, I went by Ecstasy at one point because I thought
Another
that was,
stripper
I
name?
thought that was cool. I mean, there was. I mean,
So
there
you
was,
really
there was
wanted to be a
long
stripper,
list.
though, didn't you? Wearing the spandex, running
deep
around?
down inside, remember Gadzooks,
Oh no.
the clothing store.
Oh, okay,
Gadzooks.
yeah. Okay.
So I always shopped at Gadzooks a little too much back in the day. And,
Okay.
and
I believe
that's-
you. I totally believe you.
So why not just fit the character? I
Fit the
guess.
character, right? So and so that was just kind of local around what?
Kind of Memphis area.
Just the Memphis area?
Yeah,
And
stuff like that.
Did you
I mean,
get into regional and that sort of
No,
stuff? or
we
what?
went to. I mean, we went all the way up to Knoxville, and then there were a couple in New York. Kind of a couple here and there.
So this is back at like the early stages of
This is like-
WWF, WWE, right? And
This was way before.
right, but I'm saying like back when all of that was there was a lot more regional wrestling then, right? Before it sort
Well,
of
I mean,
before all the
not
TV
necessarily.
stuff?
Regional wrestling has been around forever.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody always associates everything to WWE.
Right.
AEW now, Impact now, stuff like that.
Right.
Back then it was WWE and WCW were the big brands.
Correct.
That's it.
Right.
But then there were a lot of like just
Regional stuff.
regional independent stuff.
And that stuff still
Yep.
goes on, right?
It's
because
still goes on to
you
this
still
day.
have done some of this
Absolutely.
literally. Yeah, you just tore
Yeah.
your bicep up, didn't you?
Yeah, and OVW. That's where I started. That's where I was sent.
Okay.
Right before I went up to WWE and stuff
Okay.
like that. It was like, one last time. Let's just go out there and there goes my bicep.
That was just recently, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw photos of that.
Ruptured or like
Oh, totally tore off.
it comes off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It was so good. The doctor just looks at it and goes, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna super buy that new vet right now.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just gonna
Thank
go
you
ahead.
very much.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the down payment on that now because, this one's gonna cost."
Yeah. So, but I mean that like kind of leads into like you've had, so you started in this this small thing, and then right before, how did you get to the WWE from just doing some of this regional stuff?
Just basically just getting noticed. At the time.
So they had like scouts or something.
Oh
check
yeah,
out? Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And Memphis was a, I guess you could say it was a training ground for the WWE at the time.
Okay, I got you. They
So
have a thing like that in Florida now
Yep,
too.
that's
And
in Orlando.
Okay.
Yep. So NXT in Orlando now is basically
What was in Memphis?
what was in Memphis.
Okay.
Then what was in Memphis, eventually went to Louisville. So that from Memphis, I got sent to Louisville.
Okay.
Because Louisville is where OVW was, and that was like the head training ground.
Okay.
I mean, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Batista,
Right.
Randy Orton.
And you were training with those
Yep.
guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
So a giant
Shelton
camp
Benjamin.
with a bunch of big egos.
No, actually, at the time, man, honestly, there were no egos.
Really?
With the OVW thing, it was, I mean, the training ground.
Right.
I mean, and everybody got sent there and everything else. And,
Right.
And literally, it was NXT before NXT was.
Right, exactly what you're saying.
And now everybody, today's generation knows NXT, but
Right.
we were before that. And I mean, I think they just posted something the other day. It was like 48 championships
Come out of that
came out of OVW.
That's so cool.
In that group.
and that group of guys.
And
And you
stuff,
were
so-
saying, like, I was joking about it before, but this is a bunch of guys that are like a bit larger than life, obviously, and at the same time are actually just like the most humble, cool guys.
yeah,
right?
oh, yeah.
We joke about it, but
Yeah.
guys, everybody's just kind of a cool guy,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I walked in from a position of nobody really was a specimen. I was.
Right.
And I walked into everybody is 10 times the specimen that I am.
Right.
And literally, you're just like,
Get humbled real quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't even understand. I mean, it was holy shit. I have made it to the big leagues, and they are really big here.
They're really big guys,
No.
and there's a real physical nature to it too. I mean, obviously the people know that some of this stuff is scripted to a degree, but I mean, you were literally throwing bodies around.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
when you get signed to like a multi-year contract or something, where you get picked up by WWE.
So we got signed to basically a 3-year developmental deal.
Okay.
So at that time it was $750 a week.
Nice.
Oh, I guess.
I don't know. It's money. That's how much are we making?
year
Clark?
was that?
Here's the thing, and I was making about $1,500 a week being a bartender in Memphis.
Okay, I got you.
So it was
it's
kind
a
of
pay
a down.
cut.
It was a kind of a downgrade,
Pay
but
cut,
it was
yeah.
it was what it was.
Okay.
Getting out of there probably saved my life a little bit. I wasn't around the alcohol, the drugs, and
Right.
just all the silly stuff that goes along with that. Once you got around it, I mean, you've met my wife,
Right.
My wife kept me in my career because
great.
at the time we started dating, and it was, get out of bed, go work out, do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was getting at was like, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes involved.
Oh,
you're
yeah,
making
absolutely.
$750 a week, which was a pay cut from being a bartender, right?
Well,
and now you literally have to train and put yourself on the
Yep.
line. And
All
how
the time.
often are you wrestling then at that point
So it was
in that developmental deal?
about 3 times a weekend.
3 times a
I
week?
mean, so you'd be like, so you'd have a Wednesday show always for TV, which
Okay.
was on it was OVW. It was
Okay.
On the local Louisville station.
Okay.
And then there were always little house shows here, there, and everywhere.
Okay.
Kind of anything
Was that still
within 2
fairly
hours.
regional? Okay, yeah, 2 hours. Okay.
About 2 hours.
Nice.
I mean, there was 2 or 3 up here in Indianapolis.
Right.
I remember coming to the Radisson, right there, right after you get off 465, or off of 65 onto 465.
Right.
There near Beach Grove.
That's in Indianapolis.
Yep.
We do have somebody from Belgium that regularly listens to our show. Hey, if you're in the Belgium, follow our Facebook and we'll hit us up. We'll do some. I don't know. Yeah, Belgium. I saw that.
Why not?
Anyways, all right.
Great
Letting them
beer.
know where we are.
Great beer.
Google
They got
that.
good beers.
They do. So
Those Trappist
so
monks.
you got to do this thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then at what point, that 3-year development deal, at what point were you able to then get onto, I think you did Raw, right? Is that the next level up?
No, I started on SmackDown.
Oh, you started SmackDown.
Mordecai started on SmackDown.
Okay, so who comes up with those names? You were Mordecai after being, I don't know, Kid Ecstasy or whatever you were before.
No.
Get ecstasy.
All right, you got to research. You got to Google a
No,
little bit more,
the-
take some
no,
notes.
No, the whole point.
No.
The whole point of this is that you give us the information, and I
kidding.
look like an idiot.
I'm
That's
joking.
the thought. That's the key.
You're doing great.
I'm doing great. Yeah, everyone looks at this
No,
like that guy.
so anyway, with all that, so Mordecai came up. I went from 7 to Mordecai, and literally it was.
Yeah, because that was your OVW was 7, right?
Yep.
Right. You were,
And then
you were
I wanted
7.
Malachi.
You wanted Malachi.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that was Children of the Corn. And I
Right.
guess it was already copyrighted.
Yeah. Okay.
So we kind of disappeared from that, and then somebody came up with Mordecai. We just went with it.
And you get to pick these names.
Oh,
Or are
I
they
didn't get to pick
assigned to you?
Mordecai because I would have
Right,
picked
well,
that
obviously,
shit.
right.
But I went with it.
And the cool thing about this is you get characters, right?
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
you're a character that you're playing.
Yeah.
As Mordecai. So
Yeah.
what is Mordecai the character?
Mordecai was basically kind of a disillusioned wannabe priest that
Right.
thought he had a higher power
Right.
or higher calling to go against the sinners that were WWE.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest.
Now,
I mean,
you get to develop these characters, or there's a writer that helps with that?
you get to work on it, but there's definitely a writer. I had a phenomenal writer, Dan Madigan, who had my best interest in mind the whole time, but we still got fucked by all of it. My biggest problem with the Mordecai thing was I was a dumbass, got in a fight in a bar, and literally it crushed it all.
Oh, so that was not the storyline. That was
Yeah,
literally
no, that was
Kevin.
Kevin being
dumbass at
Kevin
the
being a
bar.
dumbass at the bar. So
That's great. Like, oh no, that was a great.
Yeah.
You wrote this great story
Yeah,
where,
oh, yeah,
where
absolutely.
Mordecai would fight someone in a bar, and it would be just an absolute complete mess.
absolutely.
get the hair again, but yeah.
The
That's all right.
trying to have flowing locks,
It's
it
all right,
just
man.
doesn't work anymore.
I feel you.
I just need to
struggle.
cut this shit.
So in wrestling, right? There's good guys and bad guys.
Absolutely.
And they are called
Heels and faces.
heels and faces. And you've been both, correct?
I've been both.
Yeah. And so Mordecai was kind of more of a heel, right?
Yeah, Mordecai would have been a heel. Well, I mean, who knows? I mean,
It depends on which way you're looking at whether you like Darth Vader or not.
yeah,
type of thing.
exactly.
I got you.
I mean, depending on how I would have done it, I mean, in today's society, it may have worked as a face, but but at that time, it was a heel. You know, everything is good as bad. Everything is bad as good.
Right. So that's kind of so you spent most of your time as a heel, right?
Yeah.
And then you evolved into Kevin Thorn at some point.
Well,
with that as well, yeah.
I got released because of my actions in a bar.
Yeah, because of your full contact.
Full contact bar privileges, and then basically got sent. Well, not sent. I just kind of went freelance for a while.
Okay.
But then got re-signed because WWE, ended up in a deal with Sci-Fi Channel.
Right.
And they needed more. At the start, it was going to be sci-fi characters, horror characters, and something else was going to be the new ECW, which was dumb as shit because ECW had a following that there were no characters, but for some reason they
bought it and wanted to make it characters.
Yeah, wanted to make it characters. So,
so they brought you back for that.
They brought me back for that.
They gave you a new identity.
I was a vampire. And had a cute little valet and Shelly Martinez and literally it was sadistic vampire love triangle.
Did you have to go goth looking and all that?
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen this stuff.
And
like the Mordecai.
I mean, let's be honest. Hold on. Look at these locks. I mean, this beautiful red hair had to be dyed black.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
awesome.
I could have been Thor 2.7. I don't know.
Paint your nails black and all
that.
Yeah,
but I had nails black.
Awesome.
All black. So.
Did you have to wear contacts for that? Did you ever get to do that?
No,
that would have been kind of weird.
Beautiful blue eyes.
Yeah, you do.
There's no sense. I mean, we're right now just.
Pools of blue.
Oh, okay, anyway.
Okay, we're good.
Your camera's there if you want to stare into it.
Longingly into the camera for everyone who's coming. So Kevin Thorn was born as the vampire, and you had that whole deal goes, and that was with the WCW. ECW. Man, God. I'm all over the place today.
Special goth move? Like, do you have a special
special goth move? Where do you get a special goth move?
You know,
finish him. I got a special goth move. I'm gonna bite you in the neck. No,
take their blood.
No. Yeah. So I had the Dark Kiss.
See, he's right though. It was the Dark Kiss.
Yeah. Which technically was a vampire saying and stuff.
Yep.
And I mean, the cool thing is when they kind of told me this, I mean, I went and bought this big, it was this tall of vampirism stuff, and started really researching,
doing the research and that stuff,
and everything else. If it would have been now, I would have had a mullet.
Right. Okay.
I like Lost Boys.
Right.
Kiefer
Sutherland.
I would have had the Lost Boys mullet.
Yeah.
But back then it wasn't cool yet.
No.
So
it was still the goth thing was pretty big back then.
Yeah. I mean, you could have, but
you had a bit of following.
So,
I mean, you were doing pretty good, man.
I still do.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was cool.
It's
you had the Brotherhood.
It is really cool.
No,
the Brotherhood. No,
that never came around.
No.
We talked about
there was
that one time.
there was that. Yeah, we could have done something.
That would have been cool.
Were you allowed to hang out during the day?
Yeah, he's not allowed to be seen in the day.
Well, that's why the good thing is you have all these shades around.
So you're not melting.
Yeah, I'm not melting.
So during the course of that, you had a pretty bad injury, correct?
I tore all the cartilage out of my right hip.
And you had to put that on the shelf for a little bit, and they had to move you back to training or something for a little while. I think I remember that was a big issue because you had some real problems with that hip.
It was just awkward.
Yeah.
And then so I just went ahead and decided, hey, I'm going to have surgery now.
Right.
Had surgery, and they're like, oh, well, we just came up with this great idea. We need you back in 6 weeks. And I went,
I just had surgery.
Yeah, I just had surgery, and I'm supposed to be out 6 months.
Ugh. Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. I remember that being a pretty bad injury.
So I went to town rehabbing and everything else. I mean, I went to rehab every day, twice a day for probably 4 to 5 weeks.
Right.
And then got the okay from the doctor, and then went back, and then just everything they said was what it was.
So
it's show business,
right?
There's a lot of minds involved. Everything else,
One of my questions was, how often did you get your hair dyed?
When it was white, way too much.
Yeah, I bet.
So to the point where towards the end it was so much straw, it was just straw. I mean, like literally, you'd go like this, and you'd be like,
Oh, that's crazy.
There's another chunk of hair.
Oh, damn.
Like I was shedding like a dog. That's how bad it was. I mean, it was like tumbleweeds sometimes. You know, after you got up out of the bed, it was like, oh, there's the rest of my hair.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's part of the business, right? To just be,
That and the spray tans.
Yep. Oh, well, you know.
Not when you were Mordecai or that. Right?
No, not when I was a vampire. Vampire saved me a ton of money. I didn't have to tan. I didn't have to spray tan.
Just have to
Mordecai still spray tan. The problem is you wore so much white, you just didn't ever want to look like you shit your pants if it sweated down in the back.
Oh, man.
So you'd always have to extra shower because you know you're wearing all that white and everything else, and then literally you.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
You got a
skid
mark on the outside.
so then after you had that hip injury, right? What happened after that?
Went back up for a little bit. Went down to, at this time they no longer had OVW. They had FCW, which is now NXT. So I went down to Tampa, Florida, and was starting to train again and everything else. And I don't know. It just wasn't working out that much.
Right.
And so I ended up just asking for my release.
Right. That's tough, too, because your body's taking a massive toll, right? Never mind having to stay in shape and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I also came back 5 months earlier than I should have on an injury that I could have just sat at home for.
Right. Which is crazy, right? I mean,
but when they tell you you're about to get the push of the lifetime,
right?
You just try to do it.
And then you tried to do it, and it's tough, right? So then after that, you kind of put that on the shelf for a little bit, right?
Yep.
The wrestling, and
then
it
disappeared.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
On purpose, right?
Yeah,
and
on purpose.
And now you've worked on a new career. You're starting doing some other stuff, right? Selling homes, right?
No, I'm a drug dealer now. I'm totally kidding you.
Oh, you mean a pharmacist?
Pharmacist.
That's what you meant. Right. So you've been able to evolve that, but you also then in the meantime you've also gone to a couple of these. You do some shows.
Yeah, I do.
I
still do shows. I mean, the biggest thing is wrestling is a drug.
Right.
Unfortunately, being underneath the lights and then hearing the roar of the crowd and everything else. I was telling you guys about Elvis, as we were talking right before this started. Going to see the Elvis movie last night. The biggest thing I can relate to in that is he was happiest when he was in front of the crowd, on the stage, and underneath the lights. And I think that's kind of where you become as a performer, as a wrestler, and everything else. You just need it. It's a fix.
An addiction. Yeah,
it's a fix.
I bet.
You got to go out there and you got to do a little something here and there. Everything else, the real world you figure out is just as fake as wrestling. A lot of the time.
Wait, wrestling's fake?
No, wrestling's not fake.
Actually, wrestling's not fake. The real world is.
Yes.
Wrestling is scripted.
The funniest thing is I think I found more egos in real estate than I have.
Oh, for sure.
Than I actually have in wrestling. The only difference is I can't try to figure out how to get booked in a match and beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Literally, I
like to see that.
and change your tune a little bit. You just got to kind of deal with the egos and stuff like that. And I mean that's the biggest thing is.
Well, scripted or not, it's a very physically demanding.
Obviously, we were just talking about the injuries you had.
I mean, it's.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And you got to practice all those moves.
You can't defy gravity.
No.
I mean, no matter what, you're still falling. You're still falling on your back. You're still moving. It's still a physical aspect in your body.
And we're talking about large people here. I mean, you're a big guy, and you're saying you're not even one of the bigger guys, right?
Oh, no, I'm not even. I'm mid-size.
Yeah, you're a mid-size guy.
Yeah, I'm a mid-size. If you were on
crazy.
Orbitz ordering a car, I'm mid-size. I'm not even full-size. I'm just mid-size. Right. Now, granted, I'm not economy, but I'm mid-size.
I got you. I got you. So. But, I mean, banging around with these guys, and that sort of thing. But is there any moment or any match or anything that you absolutely stands out as this was awesome? This was the coolest thing that I've done?
I mean,
mean, is there any particular guy you like to wrestle?
Oh, I mean, I've liked to wrestle everybody. I mean,
Okay.
I've never had a problem with anybody I've ever been in the ring with. I've always had fun.
Right.
I mean, some stand-up matches only because people know them. RVD, Kane.
Right.
I mean, I wrestled Kane in London in front of.
How cool was that?
Not London. What was one of the big in England? Basically,
Right.
one of the huge
Arenas.
Yeah. And I mean, like literally, it's just insane. I mean, I walked out in WrestleMania,
right?
Ford Field in front of almost 95,000 people, which is insane.
Right. I mean, you're talking about how that's an addiction.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I mean, you wrestle. I mean, Italy, South Africa, Germany. I mean, I've wrestled in so many different places.
Right.
It's just, and every one of them's different. And that's just the cool thing about it all is, I mean, until you walk out that curtain, it's like, oh, there it is.
You just got to get hyped for that too, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
And is there any type of wrestling that you prefer? Do you like the tag team stuff? Do you like any sort of a rumble?
You like
Do you like the
tag
one-on-one
team
stuff?
Because then you have to do half the shit. You just got to stand there and be like, you're getting your ass kicked, yay! I'm not. I'm just sitting here pounding. Yeah,
you just hand in the folding chair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you just sit back and watch.
So the tag team stuff's good.
But tag team. But I mean, single stuff's good. It just all depends. I mean, the biggest thing is, it's kind of like Kevin Costner and Field of Dreams.
Right.
If you build it, they'll come.
Right.
And if the show is built right and everything you've done is right, I mean, they're going to come out in droves. They're going to watch. They're going to cheer, and it's going to be the greatest thing of their of their life. And I mean, seeing kids' emotions, heck, seeing adults' emotions, sometimes is just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Sitting there in that ring, behind the guardrail, underneath the lights. It's super cool.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And have you done any? Clark was talking about like a finishing move or a special move that you have. Have you done anything that is like sort of stands out in the ring that from a move standpoint or against a particular guy that you like that you thought I'm the guy, I can do this, like this is awesome, or is all of it like that?
It's all of it.
It's like all that. Of it's like that.
So there was no go-to move you had?
No, I mean I had go-to moves. I mean I did a variation of the Razor's Edge, and then I did kind of a stunner off the ropes, which was pretty cool.
Off the top?
Off the top rope.
You're on the rope, so you get up. I mean that's.
Well, no, they're on the top rope, and I'm holding them up and dropping down to my ass.
Nice.
Basically, and then they're kind of shotgunning off my shoulder like they've just broke their jaw. Okay. So
do you have to work on those moves with those guys beforehand, or does everybody kind of know how some of these moves work, and you just hey, this move is going to come, and they know what they're doing?
Do you ask David Copperfield how the fuck he got rid of it?
I probably would. I probably would. And he'd tell me to fuck off.
How'd you pull the
how that goes.
What did he answer?
Like I said, he probably would tell me to fuck off. So that's pretty good. Right. No, but I mean,
that's going to be polite.
Yeah, no.
He just make you disappear.
No, but well, that's a different kind of disappear. It probably would happen, right? Now, we've talked about this being scripted. Are all of them scripted for sure, like as far as an outcome? Because it's like, or is it like if somebody feels like the momentum's going their way and the crowd's for them?
It's TV.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, smaller stuff, it is what it is. TV stuff, I mean, it's scripted. I mean,
it's got to be, right?
There's reasons and why. Well, I mean, now they're kind of crazy. They rewrite TV 5 minutes before the show because, anyway. But I mean, there's pay-per-views and WrestleMania and other stuff going forward. So
they know that it has to fit in that timeline.
Yeah, it has to build to that. I mean, because again, if you build it, they will come.
Right.
I mean, so you've got to, you might win 4 matches in a row, but you got to lose one.
Right. Well, I've heard,
or you lose them all going into that, and then you win the big one.
I've heard some people say, obviously, oh, it's fake and it's scripted and that sort of stuff. But we go to watch movies, and we watch like superhero movies, and we do those are all scripted, and those are all.
And not a motherfucker says, oh, it's scripted.
Well, right, exactly.
Yeah, because it is, you dumbass.
Right.
Yeah,
right. But I mean, I think that's kind of the point I was getting at is like. They're telling a larger. You're saying that they're telling a larger story, and it's in the piece of the story. Yep. So each time you go out and wrestle, that's an episode.
Yeah, and you actually get the
story.
sequel the next week instead of waiting, 2 years. For them to produce it and everything else.
Exactly, and I think that's cool. And when we talk about, people will cry in the movie theaters, or they'll get excited at the movie theaters.
I
or
cried
cheer in the
last
movie
night, Elvis. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. That's good. But my point is, you were talking about all of these people, including adults, that have this emotion on the sidelines. And some people can look from the outside and say, oh, my God, it's just whatever. But, I mean, we have those same emotions when we watch movies. And these people are invested in you guys as characters in absolutely the same way. And obviously, you're bigger than life. You're like these superheroes, man. Yep. And the fact that you're telling these stories that come in these episodes that are each of these matches. And not only are you doing each of these matches, there's no CGI here, man.
No.
You guys are really banging into each other. You guys are really throwing each other, like you said, throwing each other to the ground and really getting injuries.
And that's why there's the injuries that are.
Right.
I mean, that's why guys are constantly getting hurt and in and out and everything else like that. And I mean, I guess that's
the injuries aren't scripted.
No. And that's kind of the part of some of the WWE of how things have to change is, I mean, eventually your body just wears down.
Right.
You're done.
Right.
I mean, as long as you can stay healthy, the better.
Right.
I mean, if you do get out, they do have great medical. They definitely take care of you a little bit and everything else. But I mean, the biggest thing is you've just got to, stay healthy.
Right. And so, where are you in a health standpoint? Because you just said we talked earlier about the bicep thing that you had just torn recently, and you said that was sort of your swan song.
I have AIDS now.
Monkey
Actually, who are those people that are your AIDS?
I have COVID, and I'm really sorry, guys. I should have told you.
That's all right.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, so you went through there. So are you in shape enough that you still want to wrestle? I mean, like you said,
this shirt is covering up this gut. No.
Is there like a senior tour of
Oh, trust me, I am the John Daly of wrestling right now. There's no, I mean, granted, I could probably go out there and hit the long ball, but the rest of that shit ain't happening.
Your body's pretty much said, and you've said you want it, even though there's always probably that itch, maybe?
No, there's always the itch.
Yeah,
there's always itch. If I really dedicated to really bust my ass, get back in shape, I could probably go back to wrestling.
Probably go back, yeah.
Biggest problem is I really like what I do.
Yeah.
I love selling homes.
Cool.
I love,
Kevin Fertig Realty.
My clients. I love what I'm doing out there. I love the ability to be at home all the time, set my schedule. I mean, we've got lacrosse games this weekend up in Chicago, travel team for my son. Like, I like the home life.
That's cool.
I honestly, I don't, no matter if I got in shape, they asked me back at this point in time, I just don't know.
Right. But you still do some of the convention stuff too, because it's good to still interact with the fans and sign some stuff. And
I love seeing the fans, and I love hearing the stories.
Right.
I mean, because the best is you sit there and a fan will come up to get an autograph, talk to you, and everything else.
Right.
And literally, they're telling you what it meant at WrestleMania 23,
right, whatever.
When you came out, and we were and I'm like.
They remember details you don't remember, right?
I had no idea. And
that's the impact that you have on these people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say hi to Donnie Ellenberger. That is my daughter's boyfriend who's a fan. Just so you know.
Hello, Donnie Ellenberger.
That was it? All right. Donnie, that's all you get, bud.
Just going to be honest, Donnie, here, since we just got to go there anyway now, since I didn't say enough. Do not have sex with this young lady. If you do, you're deep shit, dude. We're just going to fucking knock you out.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. All right.
No.
Anyway,
on the lighter things. What was your signature music? Did you have
It depends on the guy, right? The character, right?
Just YouTube it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm YouTube it. You
it's all
just
kinds of-
look up Kevin Thorn. It goes. It's like a techno
All right.
Yeah.
something, and then Mordecai was more like a church.
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
So is there unfinished business as far as, is there any like character or any wrestler you'd want to wrestle that you thought, oh, the storylines would have worked really well for me to go toe to toe with this guy or tag team with that guy?
I mean,
or something like that. Is there something like you thought, oh, that if I had that chance, that would be really cool
yourself,
to do?
though, because one, you're conflictual, right? One was a good character,
Yeah,
one was a bad character. So that
well,
would
they
be
both were
interesting.
bad.
They're both bad characters,
Okay.
really.
Yeah. But I mean, Mordecai versus Kevin Thorn would have been amazing. I don't know how I would have pulled it off.
Well, that would be CGI.
But yeah, it'd have been.
But
it'd
there's
have
no
been
one.
pretty
There's no
awesome.
one that you think you like that.
I mean, I would have loved to wrestle Undertaker. Would have
Right.
loved to wrestle Sting.
Okay, because I always I thought Kevin Thorne and Undertaker would have been a heck of a
it'd
deal,
been-
right? I think
It would have been awesome.
I think it would have been kind of cool if he killed
Yep.
you, and then brought you back in a coffin, and you came out for a tag team match with him.
Oh, that.
How cool would that be? Like in a wrestling match.
Why
boom.
weren't you a writer?
Yeah,
I'm
come
telling
on.
you,
Like,
man.
what the
I think that
hell,
would have been so.
dude?
I think it would have been great that you
Like-
that you quote died, and then how he brings that coffin and sets it up there, and then he's fighting, he's starting to lose, and he opens it up, and then you come out as this vampire.
I'm sitting there trying to
and
figure out
absolutely
how
kill
to
him,
say.
man.
Yeah, it'd be great if I died, but yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought that would be like a cool
No, I think-
storyline,
yeah,
man, or
I
something
like
like
that.
that. And then you just kind of like,
Do you keep the
undo
same name, or do you come back as like an undead name? Like,
No, Kevin Thorne. I mean, he was
I
a
was
vampire,
undead,
so he's
yeah,
already
I was
so
undead.
yeah.
So
Right?
how did he kill the vampire?
Well, I think
I'm
maybe
so
we would
lost
have had to
here.
start somewhere else with you
Okay,
being somebody else, you know.
I found a hole in your story, actually.
No. I'm just saying, if we're bringing him back, let's bring him back.
Yes,
you know?
I agree.
But something like that. But no, I mean, there's cool stuff like that, right?
Yep.
You ever have to pick somebody up, and it was a bit more of a feat than you thought it was, but you still had to get them up?
Oh well, I mean, I kind of feel like a lot of guys feel that way about me sometimes too. So, you know what? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna stooge on anybody like that because I mean I feel like sometimes I was there too.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean,
it just happens.
Part of the deal, you just
The
pick
medium
out.
guy feels bigger than the medium guy.
Yeah, he's a little fluffier than you thought. You're like, ooh.
But yes, yeah, I mean, you're always have been a strong guy. You had no problem getting. I mean, not no problem, but you got those guys up.
Oh, I got
that's
pretty
cool.
much everybody up. I
Yeah,
never had
so
a
that's
problem.
cool. That's pretty sweet. So and now wrestling, you're done? You think, or only the right circumstances kind of deal?
Right circumstances.
Right circumstances.
No commentating or anything like that. There's that avenue as well.
Nobody wants to hear this redneck talk.
But we do.
Yeah, well, I mean, on stuff like this, but calling matches and
Calling
stuff
matches.
like that.
Yeah, but there's an art
I'll
to
be
that
like,
too,
God
right?
bless America. He just, no.
Yeah, you don't want that. What's in the future for the champ?
I mean, basically just, trying to figure out what's about to go on with this home market and everything
Okay,
else.
yeah, I bet that's
mean,
tough.
Stuff has changed within the past
Right.
2 years. I mean, a lot like wrestling, you figure out what's going to work,
Right.
how to market, and
Right.
then move forward.
All right.
And stuff like that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like I do, in the ring and everything else. Is just try to give everybody the best experience possible.
Right.
Keep smiles on
Yeah,
the
and
faces.
for people who want to follow you on Instagram, because you have some obviously awesome photos with people holding up the belt and getting
Oh,
their
yeah,
homes
absolutely.
and that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and people are having a good time with that.
Yeah.
And every now and then you put out some videos.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
are, I mean, you're still doing that, so
Yeah,
you're still
yeah.
mugging for the camera, and
Yeah, we're still
it's
having
good.
fun.
I mean, it's absolutely
We're
entertaining
having fun.
too.
I mean, when your former business was showbiz,
Right?
I mean, within reason, you
It's in the blood.
yeah, you
It's
basically
in the blood. So,
show off.
and you have kids.
Yep.
Would you encourage either of your kids to go do this?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. They've got other irons in the fire going
Yep.
forward,
my
right?
my kid's a kick-ass lacrosse player.
Yep.
Pretty killer football player at the
Right.
moment. My daughter is just starting to get into lacrosse, but
Right.
really starting to do it well. I really and truly, until you get a college education,
Right.
you're not even remotely getting near this business.
Okay.
Because I want you to always have a fallback.
Okay.
My biggest problem is I started getting into it and never went to college.
Right.
I was like, oh, I'm going to be
You were a gym rat, literally.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to be a WWE wrestler, and
right.
I'm never going to have to work again, and blah blah blah.
Right, and
it's not how it works.
Right, and it's. I mean, we hear about some of the big names that come out, but ultimately, it's a grind.
Oh
right?
yeah.
I mean, it's a grind. It's physically, mentally, it's a grind on you, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you're not making these big dollar amounts that we see, like.
I mean, when I was with WWE, I was making decent money, but was I making life-shattering money? No, absolutely not.
And that's sort of that goes into how blue collar that work is for most of the people. Like just like any other business, there's going to be that 1% that rises to the top that's going to get a movie deal or whatever else that whatever.
But this is I would consider this as like the softball league,
right?
The men's softball league or the women's softball league, or you're gonna most everybody is a weekend warrior,
right?
Within reason,
right?
They still have to have.
Some other job on the side,
some other job on the side, stuff like that. The ones that really make it are the ones that they give it all up and they just jump in full force.
And then there's ones that do jump in full force and don't make it.
And it's sink or swim,
right?
And it's actually a lot like the real estate business as far as either you jump in, and drowned, or you jump in and literally you at least doggy paddle until you're saved, and then all of a sudden you figure out how to really make it.
Right.
And that's kind of the wrestling business. There's probably, if you really, I'd say there's probably 100,000 wrestlers in the United States, that call themselves professional wrestlers. Right. Now, granted, there's probably 5,000 that actually should.
Right.
Okay. There's 95,000 fucking douchebags out there.
Sure.
And sorry, you can hate me, but it's the truth.
Jumping off their parents' roof onto a picnic table.
Yeah, and they're calling themselves that, but they have no business being in the ring.
Right.
And then there's about 5,000 out there that probably could make it, and stuff like that. And with that 5,000, there's probably only 500 that might actually make it.
Right.
And with that 500, there's probably only about 50 a year or so that actually do.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. And we're talking about, all the training that you did. You were literally at multiple facilities for multiple periods of time, and that's development and that's training. And you were talking about having to have your wife get you up. Get to the gym and stay with it.
Stay with it. Cook. It's a
crazy.
full-time job.
That is a full-time.
There's no off season in wrestling, is there?
No, and there really should be, but there's not.
Yeah.
I would really love for WWE to be a seasonal thing.
Right.
I think it'd be better for all of it, but it just, AEW, WWE, Impact, it's full year
keeps
going. I think it'd be better for all the guys, everything else. Like, let's have we're trying to be
episodes
and stuff like that.
Right. Storylines that play through.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think at some point, maybe take, 3 months off and then come back and then just run house shows.
Yeah.
During that time. Go
Let
out
everybody
there,
get healthy physically and all that.
Yep. Go out there and have fun.
Yeah, or at least run these storylines with this group of characters and then let them take a hiatus and then bring in this storyline with these characters and you can do it instead of trying to keep the same ones going over again so they have multiple storylines.
Yep.
Hey, how come you're not in charge of this, man?
We got it all figured out.
Yeah, is the brain trust here or something?
Unfortunately, I'm too smart for this shit.
You're too smart for this. But you were talking about something really earlier that just a minute ago that I think is really important, and I think this is an important life lesson for a lot of kids and a lot of parents that have kids involved in other activities. Is what you've done with your current career is you looked at the career that you had before in wrestling. And you looked at that as a model on how to be successful in your own life, right? You said, hey, these are the things in wrestling that worked, that got me to a particular level or got this business to a particular level. And I learned to figure those things out. And once you realize that, hey, when I go into the real estate business, I can actually take those lessons that I've learned and turn them onto the business where there aren't wins and losses and they're in the same sort of way.
Absolutely.
But there are deals that are made and deals that are closed and the ability to interact with people like what you were able to do with both wrestling to get people excited about your brand and your show and your your match, you're able to turn around and get that kind of excitement with people in their own lives buying their own houses now.
Absolutely.
And so you've been able to do that interpersonal thing that you learned from the wrestling, plus the ins and outs of the business and that sort of stuff. And I think that's actually a really powerful message for a lot of parents to have their kids get involved in things and realize, look, it's an extracurricular activity, whether it's a sport or it's the play or something that they're doing. They can turn around and use that and be successful at that. That can be a model to be successful at other things in their lives.
Absolutely.
And you've done a really good job of that, evolving that. And it's not an overnight one-to-one success either, too, because you got to keep grinding at that too.
Yep.
But you've obviously proven the ability that you can grind to get through that in both cases. And I think that that's awesome.
I appreciate that.
That's cool stuff. I mean, because I think one of the things that we've done on this show is, we have some fun. We're having a good time.
Absolutely.
But it's kind of inspiring for me to here's a guy who, was a gym rat, managing a gym, found this thing to go through, ground through the physical and mental and ups and downs of a very, very complicated business for whatever it is, because you have all of these different pieces, and you learned enough to turn around and become successful in your own life. And then obviously was able to, you're raising a family, you're now valuing your own home time.
Oh, yeah.
Your kids are having some success with the things that they're doing. Things are doing great for you, man. I think that's awesome.
Yep.
And you're able to pass that on to other people.
Yeah.
And they get to feel like champs in their own home.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And it's just it's blessing.
Yeah.
I think you kind of pass the karma in a way and stuff like that. Is just trying to figure out how do I ground myself enough to keep moving forward, but also to give it to somebody else,
right?
And to make sure that they're living their best life too, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, and I think that's so cool. I mean, that's good stuff. I mean, that to me is like, we could talk about the wrestling stuff, and that's fun and that's entertaining and stuff. But to have value more than the entertainment value of it, to move on to other things, I think is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I think that what you've done and how you've evolved that is pretty cool stuff. I'm happy for you, man. I think it's cool.
Dude.
It's great. We haven't seen each other in a while, so we're gonna we'll have to.
We got to go get some pancakes at the Roost.
Or do something like that for sure. So, anything on the horizon for you that is that's different from this, or you?
My life now, kind of revolves around, all right, how do I keep my kids doing what they're doing?
Right.
Living their best life. Also, too, keeping them grounded, because I think too, giving them too much doesn't keep them grounded. So there's times I'm like, all right, I need to back off a little bit.
Sure.
They need to earn what they're getting.
Right.
As bad as I want to buy him a new lacrosse stick every other week, and when he comes to me and get this and get that, is, hey, you need to go out and mow some lawns. You need to sweat a little bit.
Right.
Same with my daughter. You need to go clean up the dog shit in the backyard.
Right.
It's just 10 cents a turd. I mean, they
I'm looking for somebody to help me.
Hey, they add up quick. I mean, I think her math's a little off sometimes. She comes up and goes, "That's $70, Dad."
Yeah.
I'm like, we got a big ass dog.
You're
but I
not
don't
joking.
know about
You literally give her 10 cents a turd.
10 cents a turd.
That's really it.
I mean,
that's hilarious.
Hey,
I thought that was. I thought that
you're
was
living
a joke.
in the house for free.
No, I understand.
Let's be honest.
I'm just
I'll
saying.
pay her 50 cents a turd if she comes to my
Yeah,
house.
I'm telling you.
No, that's hilarious.
I think sometimes she kicks them to make them like
they
separate.
now it's 3.
Yeah, that's an extra 70 cents right there. The way that one dissipated. So yeah,
that's crazy. That's cool.
So
that's awesome. So kicking ass on the real estate after kicking people's ass all around the ring, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky. I sitting every day. I see. I follow a lot of guys on Twitter and stuff like that. And I look at what's going on in the world and stuff, and I'm like, I can't be any more blessed than I am.
That's good.
By taking what I learned through wrestling, and now putting it into a new business, and then kind of going with that.
Right.
So,
that's cool.
I got one more question.
Come on with it.
What do you got?
Oh, this guy. What?
Oh
he is.
yeah, my stuffy.
Your
Yeah,
stuff.
that's gonna be we can get to keep him here, right?
Oh, yeah,
he's
that's
gonna be
your
on
stuff,
set there.
This is
Little
both
Kevin
your
Thorn?
guys.
Kevin Thorn?
Split in half.
Yeah, split in half.
Split in half.
So that was kind of
Mordecai.
Yeah, it's kind of my ode
Mordecai
to
Thorn?
myself there, and I give that. I bring those to closings, and then I also, take that, and give it to kids, to hold on to and stuff like that when we're showing houses.
Yeah.
If they got little kids, I mean, the big thing is
Distraction.
it's just
So
distraction.
you can close your deal.
Yeah, well, I mean,
No,
it's
just so
it's
they
more
feel
about
comfortable,
just
right?
them feeling comfortable.
Yeah, that's awesome.
At the end of the day, if the deal never gets closed, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm really different as far as how I do businesses. At the end of the day, if it's not the house, it's not the house. And
Right.
if I think I'm going to get you stuck in something that's never going to repay you, I'm never going to push it on you. I'm not. I'm kind of I guess CarMax is that way or whatever. There's no pressure sales.
Right.
I'm not the old school used car lot kicking the tires going, oh yeah, this thing's great. If it's not great, I'm going to straight up tell you, and I don't want to write an offer. I mean, I don't want you to write an offer on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of thing.
You don't
right?
need that pressure. You just show up being a mountain of a man, and
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh,
yeah.
we'll listen to that guy."
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, it's about them, what they see the house in, and if they're skilled in, contracting and everything
Right.
else, then I get it. But
Right.
if you can't nail a nail and you can't,
Then you got to have it just right.
Then you probably shouldn't be buying a fixer upper.
Right.
And there's different times. For that, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's kind of, especially when you're bringing your kids, stuff like that. It's how much fun can we have
Right.
at this? And again, it just kind of relates to wrestling. Are we smiling?
Right.
Because if we're not smiling and we're
Right.
not having a good time,
Right.
this is pointless.
Sure.
So
I think life is like that, though,
Yep.
right? I mean, if we don't have some fun,
yeah.
kind of stumble through it a bit.
yeah, I mean, lately we said we weren't going to talk.
No,
about
we don't. No.
politics.
And
Look,
we-
but if we don't, but if you don't have some of the difficulties,
yeah,
the
we-
highs
yeah,
aren't as high,
yeah,
right?
we-
I mean,
we gotta figure it out.
Life
Yeah.
can't be flat, but at the same
Absolutely.
token, in the end, if we're not having some fun, right?
Absolutely.
What's the point? We just gotta have some good time with it,
Yep.
Sometimes you just come into an interview, you're completely unprepared, and you just just act
Exactly,
like an
you just
ass
go
the whole
with it.
time.
Yeah,
Just,
you just go
whatever, it's
with it.
fine. Nobody cares.
I mean,
Or do they? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
I know.
with
I mean,
life, I go with you used to see the bumper sticker that says gas, grass, or ass. Nobody
Right.
rides for free.
Right.
Everybody is either giving up grass or ass right now.
Right.
Nobody is trying to pay for gas.
That's true.
know?
That's true.
I mean, pick up hitchhikers now. Anyway.
But that's one of the things you got to do. You got to kind of deal with the ups and downs and the ins and outs of how an economy is evolving at any particular time, and
Yep.
that's what you get to be on when you're dealing with wrestling and the ins and outs of that whole deal. And it's like I said, it's another model of life that you can pass on. So
Absolutely.
that's cool.
Nobody ever said it was going to be easy.
Nobody ever said life was going to be easy. And it's just fun.
And usually usually sometimes the hard way is the better
Yeah,
way to get the better results in the end.
And I'm just glad I'm on this side of life. So
Right?
we're good.
Yeah, that's good. So
I'm not
good deal.
standing over top of in the dirt, so we're good.
That's cool. So I think we've had a good time here, man.
I think
Appreciate
we've had a
it.
great time.
Yeah, that's all right. We've had good, and thanks for coming in. And maybe we'll bring you in back again sometime.
Well,
See
man,
you-
I only hope. This
You
is
only
a
hope?
beautiful studio, man.
Yeah, you like
guys have-
this? It's
you guys
good. We
have
do
done
all right.
You guys have done amazing.
So as soon as we get some people to actually watch this, it'll be great.
Hey, assholes, watch this. No,
Yeah. No,
Soon to be
so
making money.
Soon to be. Yeah, the soon to be legends. Soon to be making money.
this is.
So.
I mean, beautiful studio.
Good deal.
Everything else. Yeah.
All right. Well, good time.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
Well,
Kevin,
thanks for
a lot.
having
Thanks
me.
For having us. Thanks for having us.
Thank you,
Hey,
sir. I'd
Next
shake your
week,
hand.
you guys tune in next week. We'll see you next time. But thanks a lot, guys.